All right, guys, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, you enjoy what you see throughout this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So we are all waiting in anticipation this week to find out when Xbox is going to be coming out with their business update. They said it was going to be this week, as Phil Spencer tweeted that last week, and there was no confirmation of a date or a time. Some people think it's going to be today. Some people think it's going to be tomorrow, but we'll have to obviously wait until they make the official announcement. It may even happen soon after you've watched this video. We do not know. But one of the things that has been a major discussion throughout this entire week, because everybody has been speculating and coming up with new rumors, and it's just been the craziest I think I've ever seen it within the Xbox community, within the gaming community, and the craziest I've ever seen rumors just take off without any sort of corroboration or confirmation that any of these were true. We actually saw a lot of people walking back their rumors at the end of the week. And when it first hit, it was spread across the internet by all of the biggest people, the people that you generally would trust. Now, none of them actually said that these rumors were 100% going to happen. They said that Xbox was considering a bunch of things. So that is something that a lot of people kind of, I guess, overlooked when talking about these rumors, when looking at these rumors, when reacting to these rumors. But I think one of the major reasons is because where there's a lot of smoke, people believe there is a fire. And with these rumors, a lot of people thought that these were going to be true. But now we saw at the end of the week that some of them were being potentially walked back, and we have no idea what is going on at this point. But one of the things people were really worried about, including myself, when I first heard the rumors, it was really hard not to get swept up into the reaction, was what's going to happen to the Xbox consoles. And that is, I would say, a reasonable thing to think if you're being told that all of the games from Xbox are going to be going over to the PlayStation 5, to the Nintendo Switch, and you would start thinking, well, they're doing this because they don't see the need of creating a new Xbox console. Now, you sit back a little bit for a couple of days, you really start to think logically about Xbox's plans, and the reality of the situation is I think that was a gross overreaction from even myself, who is starting to get worried about my digital catalog on the Xbox console. If you track everything Xbox has been doing, as I've been doing on this channel, why would their strategies all of a sudden change, and why would they cut off an access point to the Xbox console? And it looks like that isn't going to be happening, as Phil Spencer has reportedly reassured employees Microsoft won't stop making Xbox consoles. This is according to journalist Shannon Lau, saying that Microsoft's head of gaming Phil Spencer told employees that Xbox currently has no plans to stop making consoles, and that Xbox consoles will continue to be part of its strategy, which involves multiple kinds of devices. Specifically, we've heard rumors about the hybrid console similar to the Nintendo Switch, where you're going to be able to have an Xbox console on the go and then be able to dock it to your TV. We also heard the rumors that potentially going forward, they're also going to have a more powerful at-home console as well. And those, again, rumors, they could absolutely be made up, just like everything that was made up earlier in the week that everybody overreacted to. But the reality is, when you do sit back and you look at the Xbox ecosystem, they still have 50 million plus people on the consoles themselves overall that they've sold. From the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X and S, we will see where the Xbox Series ends up at the end of this generation. It is another very valuable access point to the Xbox Game Pass and to their ecosystem. So it would make zero business sense to just come in and cut the console off and cut off an access point where people still use all the time. Then there was the other discussions about third-party support. And we have seen Xbox increase their third-party support this generation, even though their consoles have been lagging behind the Xbox One, which most people would agree the Xbox One wasn't a very strong generation, especially coming off of the Xbox 360. And I think the reality of the situation is, for third-party developers and people putting their games into the Xbox ecosystem, it's not about the sales of the box. It's about the ecosystem and the amount of players within that ecosystem. And if there are millions and millions of people accessing Xbox they're going to put those games into the ecosystem, meaning that there will always be games coming over from third parties, and these developers are not going to abandon Xbox, as a lot of, I think, the doom and gloom brought up. And again, this is just my opinion on this entire thing after sitting back for a week, kind of reevaluating everything and what I truly think about this now going forward. But again, we still have to wait until the business update, as whatever that is going to mean, because my opinions and my thoughts on this could change. I mean, this is news that's changing on a daily basis as more information does come out. You should absolutely reevaluate the things that you are thinking about when it comes to this situation, and should not be set in stone. So we will continue to see what happens here with Xbox. But as of right now, I think if you're worried about the Xbox console going away, I don't think it's something you truly do need to be worried about. We should still probably have another number of years, at the very least, maybe up to like 10 years or so, of Xbox hardware. And I am actually very excited about the future of the Xbox hardware if they go ahead with the hybrid style of console, bringing in portability to the Xbox ecosystem. Being able to bring Game Pass wherever you go makes the ecosystem that much better, because that's what they're going for. You currently can do that with different types of devices, but imagine having a custom handheld that you can dock to your TV with a console-like experience, launches you right into Xbox Game Pass. You can download games, take them with you on the bus, take them with you on the plane or wherever. I think that would be a phenomenal experience. Now, when it comes to potentially Xbox going multi-platform, there is proof here from a third-party developer, third-party publisher, one of the biggest in the entire industry, and that is Ubisoft, who actually commented on this. And this is what Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, has to say when it comes to these rumors. But specifically, it says Guillemot could not officially comment or confirm the rumors, but said Microsoft would decide what's best for them in regards to publishing its first-party games on competing platforms like Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. As for what kind of impact such a move might have, according to Guillemot, not much. It says here, what you have to look at anyway. Activision Blizzard used to be multi-platform, so it would have an impact, but it's not a huge impact on the industry. So Guillemot is playing this down in the sense that it doesn't really matter what Xbox decides to do. If they go multi-platform, I mean, they purchased two major publishers that were previously multi-platform and currently have a ton of their games already on multi-platform. So it's not going to really have an impact as to how this industry moves forward. It's going to be kind of just status quo, especially if they do come out with this business update and say Activision Blizzard games are going to be staying multi-platform, and then hopefully they extrapolate on that. I'm hoping they do give us some information as to what that means for the Game Pass side of things, because if they do stay multi-platform, I still have my fingers crossed that at least some of those games are going to be dropping into Game Pass, but all of that is yet to be foreseen. But the reality is, Xbox taking their games and going multi-platform isn't going to have a huge impact on the industry. It's just going to help Xbox make more money and then help them put out more content into their ecosystem. So again, we have to wait and see for the business update. And here is something that people may point towards and say, this is why they're doing this. This is why they want to cut the console. And it's because of the sales data that continuously comes out, where the PlayStation 5 absolutely dominates the Xbox Series X and S in terms of console sales. Not surprising. I mean, when Phil Spencer said they lost the worst generation to lose, he wasn't lying, and everything really does point towards that as him being truthful when saying that, because they lost the first full real digital generation where people had decided the platform that they're going to be sticking with for the long run, because they've put thousands of dollars in terms of buying digital games. And then the other thing people kind of forget about is the PlayStation 5 is a global console. The Xbox Series X and S still has a long way to go to becoming a global console. So there's a huge advantage of that just alone when it comes to the sales. Like, you just think about the Japanese market itself, the Asian market itself, where Xbox really has to work very hard to enter into. It's hard for them to sell consoles. One of my theories about this whole multi-platform thing is maybe they've realized it doesn't matter how many good quality exclusives they put out, they will never really be able to break into those markets. So why not put the games where those markets are, which would be on the other platform, so you can still make some money off of those places. But again, as I always say, I'm going to say multiple times throughout this video, speculation, rumors. We'll wait and see what happens. But one of the things here is that Take-Two had their investor presentation for their quarterly financial results. Now we kind of have an idea overall about how much PlayStation 5 is outselling the Xbox Series X and S. And according to Take-Two, it's about 2-1 by as of the end of 2023. They put out some statistics here, and you can see just kind of overall how many consoles have been sold this generation. And they say 77 million Gen 9 consoles have been sold worldwide as of December 31st, 2023. And if we look at the sales data in terms of what PlayStation has, they have surpassed 50 million in sales. So you take that and it's about 2-1 overall in terms of these sales, with Xbox being around 20 some million with the overall of 77 million. So it's 2-1 right now. And if you're Xbox, you're looking at that hardware and you're thinking it's impossible to catch up to PlayStation, and continuous improvement of the strategy is what they're going to have to do to compete, at least on the hardware front, if they want to improve on that. But the ecosystem thing, I think Xbox does have a large advantage right now, and I think they're going to be making steps going forward to bolster that ecosystem. Now, when it comes to another console, the Nintendo Switch 2, I can't wait for this thing to be announced to come out. I will definitely be covering this on my channel. Big fan of Nintendo, so you can obviously see by my t-shirt, big fan of the current Nintendo Switch. And when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, I think it's very obvious if you're somebody who has predicted or talked about the Nintendo Switch 2 being fully backwards compatible. We have some more info here that kind of points towards that. So a leaker has come out and said that the console will be backwards compatible. This is according to Universo Nintendo, a Portuguese website, claiming that the Switch 2 will not only have backwards compatibility with Switch titles currently available on the handheld system, but developers will also be able to enhance these games thanks to the additional processing power. So that's awesome to see. I'm happy that they are doing this. It makes sense to be able to enhance these games. We've seen how awesome the enhancements of games have been on Xbox with their additions from the 360 and the Xbox One and the OG Xbox, when you get like the auto HDR and the FPS updates. It's just a great feature. So bringing that over to the Switch 2 makes a ton of sense, and not surprising that they're going to have full backwards compatibility when they are selling as much as they have sold, potentially going to be the best selling console of all time. They're obviously not going to be cutting off that many users, as they have those stats about how many people actually pick up the next generation console right away compared to how many people wait. And a lot more people are going to be picking up the Nintendo Switch 2 years through its life cycle. They can't be abandoning those consumers. So this is what a leak says. It's probably more than likely going to come true. I don't see Nintendo not doing this. It just wouldn't make any sense at all. So happy to hear that. And then there's also this information here as well about, this is according to Reuters, about the chip that they are going to be using. It says, according to a source with knowledge of NVIDIA's plans, Nintendo's current Switch handheld console already includes the NVIDIA Tegra X1 chip. And then they continue to say that a new version of the Nintendo Switch console expected this year is likely to include a NVIDIA custom design. Again, not too surprising. They're going to continue with an NVIDIA chip. This is probably going to be a very small incremental upgrade in terms of the actual functionality of the console. That's kind of what I'm guessing what's going to happen, but there will be a nice boost in terms of the performance of it. So we can start getting more third-party games that are coming out right now onto this console, even if they are lower resolution, and just have some sacrifices to how the game looks, because again, these third-party developers are going to want to get all those games onto the console and just make sure that people on the Switch have the opportunity to play them. Okay, let's jump over here. Let's talk about Blizzard, because Blizzard is making a change in terms of how they have their roles when supporting Blizzard IPs. This was found by Romu Loose on Twitter, and this is what we're seeing here. So this is from a LinkedIn post from Jasmine Copen, who's a senior recruiter, saying the Blizzard art recruiting team is changing format. Now that we've been reduced in number, we will no longer be housed under a specific IP. However, we will be supporting all the Blizzard IP as a team of 4. This was very similar to the format it was like when I first joined Blizzard, when we were back as an art pod. So basically, obviously the art team had more people in it before the layoffs hit, the 1,900 people that were laid off, and that they would focus on a specific game within their teams. And now I'm guessing because they are only a team of 4, as she says here, they're going to be moving around, being dynamic and focusing on various different Blizzard IPs. So we'll see how that works out, if that makes a difference in the development of these games. And I feel like at the end of the day, although these 1,900 cuts have made probably a lot of it because of redundancy, if they have to expand out to better support these games, they will probably be adding people to these teams. I doubt they're just going to let these games go out there and struggle with development if there aren't enough people being able to work on them. But as Idlesoft says here in the tweet, many studios like Rockstar and Playground Games also have dynamic roles. So I feel like you have more variety definitely when you are working in a dynamic role rather than just a static role. All right, to end off, let's talk about Helldivers 2 again, because it is just an absolute success here for PlayStation. PlayStation published this game and they released it console exclusive on the PlayStation 5, and they also released a day and date on PC, something we don't see PlayStation do. And they are being shown here that when you do release a game that you're publishing day and date on PC, you're going to have just huge numbers, and it's going to help them push a lot more sales for these games. In fact, the CEO of Arrowhead, the developer behind this game, says that the sales are around 1 million. It also got up to like 170 some thousand on Steam in terms of concurrent players, and it maybe even gotten higher than that. I haven't checked since, but it was very high for, again, it's a great release for this game, and it blows away the last first party PlayStation game to release on PC in terms of concurrent players, which was God of War. So as I've said for a very, very long time on this channel, that I think at some point PlayStation is going to be starting to release their games day one on PC. I think we are getting closer to that, as PlayStation is definitely going to be looking at this and seeing, if we have a huge IP like God of War, we release it years later or even months later onto PC, and we can get up to 73,000 concurrent players. Imagine if we were to release The Last of Us or God of War or The Next Horizon or something on PC day one, how many sales that would push on the PC platform, and how many concurrent players that would bring, and how everybody would be talking about it because of a massive success that it is. So Helldivers 2 is doing very, very well. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
We'll be right back.